Welcome, everyone. So today's lesson, we're going to focus again on a speaking component, but mainly we're going to have a look at part 2 and part 3. Now, we've done a few lessons like this, so I'm sure you know what to expect. Now, in this lesson, we're going to cover an unusual topic. Describe an occasion when many people were smiling. Right? So this is very a little unusual card, but let's have a look at it and see what the questions would look like. Now, before I have a look at part 2, part 3 questions, I'd like you to focus on the main aspect when you're doing speaking. What should you be doing? You should definitely be recording yourself. Right? It's important that you record yourself and that you re-listen to yourself again. If not, right, it would be a waste. Just watching this video and then trying to think, oh, I watched the video, now I can speak, that's not going to happen, right? So even if I get something new, it would, take a few minutes to just quickly go through it, fathom, okay, what is this about? And then start talking. So it's important that you practice on your own. Once you finish watching the video, they're not very long videos, right? Because they're speaking activities. I want you to then go back to the lesson, have a look at the card, okay? And then you could speak on your own. Try to pick up a few new words around it, and then you can start talking and record yourself. Go back and re-listen to yourself. See, what are the words you can use to improve your answer? Are there any phrases that you could use, right? Are there any collocations that you could use? Are there any phrasal verbs that you could use, okay? Are there any idiomatic expressions that you could use to improve your answer, okay? Based on that, you can then re-evaluate and see, okay, take the marking criteria out and see, I've got this, I haven't done too well on this, I have done this, but not too well on this. So you could start evaluating your own self, right? Okay, so let's have a look at this cue card. Describe an occasion when many people were smiling. You should say when it happened, who you were with, what happened, and explain why many people were smiling. Okay? So describe an occasion when many people were smiling. Okay? So this has something to do with the past. Right? When it happened, again in the past. Who were you with in the past? What happened? And explain why many people were smiling. Now, as I told you at the start, a bit unusual, right? Now, what kind of occasions would you remember when people smile? Well, it could be at a wedding. Okay, some examples. It could be at a wedding. Maybe it could be at a birthday party. Maybe anniversary celebration. What else can you think of? Maybe a housewarming party, right? What do you mean by a housewarming party? What do you mean by a housewarming party? It's when you build a house, right? And when you first time go into your house, you invite everyone to come over. You say, oh, why not? Come and join us. Housewarming party. Okay. A hen party. What do you mean by a hen party? When girls get married, just before they get married, they have a bride-to-be slash around them and they have a girls get together. We call it a hen party. Okay. So I think it could be for different reasons. Okay. It could be for a wedding. It could be for a birthday party. It could be for an anniversary celebration, housewarming party, or even a hen party. Okay, there could be so many other occasions. I've just picked out a few as examples. Now, what happens at a wedding? If you were to explain about a wedding, right, what kind of words would you come up with? Well, at the wedding, what happens? You have the bride and the bridegroom, right? And it's a special milestone in their life, okay? You would have traditions and customs and different cultural practices involved in a wedding. Birthday party, of course, you could have your 18th birthday, which is like a big birthday in Sri Lanka. You usually celebrate it. 21st, another milestone, or any other birthday. Anniversary celebration, where you have, when you marry someone, you celebrate it every year. That's called an anniversary. Okay, so first year, second year, 25th wedding anniversary, 50th wedding anniversary. Okay. Housewarming parties. You would invite your friends over. You could watch a movie. You could sing songs. We could have like a musical night. You know, like in Sri Lanka, we have a padru party, right? Where you all get together and sing colloquial baila songs, right? And you have some food and maybe wine or champagne and some, fruit juice or some drinks. And then you have the hen party, okay? So that's when, before you get married, you have this little party. You wear a nice slash. Slash means something that you wear around yourself, right? You say bride-to-be, okay? And then you have all these nice activities and you share secret gifts, right? It's a really nice party. Usually only girls go for hen parties, okay? Even boys, sometimes they have bachelor's parties, right? Where they, just before they get married, they have their own party. So they bring their friends over and they enjoy it. They have different games, they drink beer, they have fun, right? Some of them actually go out of the country. So I know friends who went out to Maldives or Bali to celebrate their bachelor's parties. Right. And then, who were you with? So wedding, of course, we have friends and relations. Birthday, again, friends, relatives. Anniversary, you could have relatives and friends, your kids, your family, immediate, extended. Housewarming, mostly it's family and friends again. Hen party, bachelor's party, friends only, right? What happened? So you could explain as to, the real scenario, what actually happened. When it happened is basically the time frame. Was it last month, last year, 2 days ago, right? Yesterday, okay? But remember, it can't be next week, next year. It has to be something in the past. Then explain why many people were smiling. So because it was a happy time, right? People were enjoying them. So it could be that, it depends on their moods. Now to talk about moods, right? And, to explain about it, you should know a lot of adjectives. Now these are the things you must pick up when you see the card, right? නැත්තම් ටක් ගාලා ගත්තා දඩපට ගාලා උත්තරයක් ගන්න මේ කතා කරන එක නෙවෙයි අපි practice session එකකදී කරන්න ඕනේ. You have to make sure that you what? Really plan your answer. Find vocabulary. දැන් පේනවද මේ මම කරා වගේ? Okay, so what I have done is I've come up with some examples, right? You never know. They could say describe a wedding where everyone was smiling. We don't know, right? So it's nice to always go out of the way and then pick up on words. And if you can, now the best way I would do it is that you can write down wedding. And write down words that comes along with it, right? Bride, bridegroom, oops, culture, traditions. So you can write different words. That is what is important, right? Now, you will have to talk about the topic for 1 to 2 minutes. You have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say. You can make some notes to help you if you wish. If I was you, I would strongly recommend you to make some notes, right? So you could say, okay, when it happened last year or last month, okay, whichever. Who are you with? Family and friends. What happened? Birthday. Daughter. First year. Memorable. Set out a few words that are important for me, right? Memorable, jokes, long time. So when I'm talking, I know what these words mean. So when you're making notes, you can't make notes for 1 minute with complete sentences. Just some points for you to remember. Now, it's not really necessary that you go in the order, but if you could cover all this, it happened last year and this was, for my daughter's first birthday. When you talk about who came and you can explain it more, right? But it would be good for you to cover all the points in your cue card. It might not necessarily be that you go in order, but if you cover them at least, that would be really good, okay? Right, so moving on, let's have a look at a sample answer. Right, but here I would like to share my experience of seeing many people smiling. It was the occasion of my cousin's wedding. So, when it happened and who you were with. My cousin lives in America and he was here to get married and we were invited to this evening party like others. The celebration, nice word, the celebration, was organized at the most expensive resort. Okay, let me just correct that, resort of my city, right? At the most expensive resort of my city. Could you use that phrase? What do you think about the students' use of language? The celebration was organized at the most expensive resort of my city. I think it should be in my city, okay? So those kind of things are nice things to pick up when you're doing or going through sample answers. In my city, which was beautifully adorned with light and flowers, okay? Adorned, nicely decorated. Nice word. The decoration was just breathtaking. I would say the decorations because it was really done nicely, okay? So I would say the decorations were, if I was to talk, I would change it, were just breathtaking and we were impressed. Impressed means you're like, oh, wow, okay? My cousin's parents were greeting all the guests wearing a huge smile on their faces. Wearing means they were obviously, you smile, okay? That's when you wear a smile. It's not like it's natural, but you just put it on, right? And it was such a delightful moment since we had seen them after ages. So he's explaining, he or she, the student, is explaining about the background and this whole wedding event. What happened and explained why many people were smiling. It was such a grand celebration and there were arrangements of all sorts for the guests, especially the food and the drinks. The finger-licking food. What do you mean by finger-licking? It's not actually finger-licking, but it's like so good. When you say, you know, KFC has a slogan, finger-licking good. Okay, that's their slogan, right? It means that you really want to lick your fingers, which means you want to eat more. It was super tasty, delicious, okay? Was bringing a smile to every face, and the important scotch was making those who drink smile in excitement, okay? So scotch is a type of drink, like a liquor one, right? It's like, you know, beer or maybe any other kind of liquor, okay? Was making those who drink smile in excitement. So it was like if anyone wanted to have a drink, an alcoholic drink, okay, they were really happy because there was scotch out there. In addition, my cousin had also invited a famous comedian. Who is a comedian? A person who makes you laugh, okay? Right, so let me quickly run through with you a video, right? You all can watch this, but this is a comedian from Britain's Got Talent, okay, which is like a talent show in the UK, and he actually got the golden buzzer as well. So I'd like you to just watch that to understand who a comedian is.
Thank you, Amanda, for pushing that buzzer. Ever since you did it on television, and I saw an angry guy came on television, he said, oh, these immigrants take all the good jobs, all the good women. I was like, wow, that's what I'm looking for.
So comedians make people laugh, right? That's their job.
Sometimes comedy, it's hard to laugh sometimes because the news is full of depressing stuff. But I think the thing is, it's misleading because amazing things happen every day. Little acts of kindness, but they don't report it. They put it on page 10. They open with the doom and gloom. If the BBC News was a mate of yours, you'd never go over. Look, I'm not going to that depressing barbecue. I'm going to hang out with Cartoon Network. But it's an amazing time to be alive. People say stuff like, oh...
Really nice, okay? You could really watch him. You can go on YouTube and download and watch enough and more episodes of different comedians.
I'm black. 200 years ago, this would have been an auction.
So you should know the language to understand the humor as well. So this is really good to improve your language skills, okay?
But even with the doom and gloom, the Malawian press is a lot worse than your press here. I'll tell you. Like, I did the first ever comedy show in Malawi, which isn't an accomplishment. I'm the only stand-up comedian, right? And I called the local press and said, send a reporter. The editor said, why don't you write the review yourself? You give me some money, I will say we wrote it. I was disgusted by the total lack of integrity in the Malawian press. But wow, that was the best review I ever got. 7 stars! He's a genius! The African Michael McIntyre!
Okay, so this is really nice. And you could learn a lot of vocab as well, day-to-day vocab. This is good for extensive listening, right?
I said, hey, I'm happy. She said, you're not happy. I said, ambitious. I did not sign up for somebody who's going nowhere. I snapped. I told her, look, you knew I wasn't ambitious the day we met. Of all the women in the bar, I approached you. Yeah, you're laughing. I'm single now. I'm looking for love. I'll admit I'm looking for love. Gotta get that citizenship. Oh, but it's hard to date on a budget. I don't understand the British. I saw a beautiful British woman looking at a mirror upset. I said, what's going on? She said, can't you see? It's a fat mirror. I said, what do you mean the mirror's fat? She said, this mirror makes me look fatter than I am.
So it's a lot of nice stuff, right? And you should be able to enjoy it. So you could actually watch this, okay? And then they give him his comments, so you could actually go through it, right? This is for the semi-finals, all right? So I'd like you to actually watch things like that. Now, why I go out of the lesson to do this is because you should actually enjoy the language. You should add more vocab, and extensive listening is really good to improve all your skills in terms of English, okay? So they had invited a famous comedian for entertainment, right? Obviously, a one who makes people laugh, right? So everyone was smiling and laughing and giggling because of the comedian and obviously the environment around. All right? Okay, so we're coming into the next bit where the student was rounding off the idea. Lastly, there were dozens of cameras all around to ensure they are looking smart and cheerful, and all the guests were wearing a smile on their face, okay? Because, people video you and you go, right? A lot of these famous people, they keep on smiling around. So they were wearing a smile on their faces. That day, everyone was extremely happy for the newly wedded couple, and for that reason, there were smiles all around, and I found it to be the place where I saw lots of smiling faces. Nice closing off, right? This one here. Right, okay. Moving on, there's another model answer, right? A smile can brighten our day and lighten any situation. So just like a general statement at the start. In today's fast-paced life, we are forgetting the importance of smiling. Today, I will talk about a situation when I saw many people smiling. Good. I wouldn't start it like that, but there's nothing wrong in starting it like this, but it seems a bit too formal for me, right? It was when I was traveling with my cousin to Chandigarh on a bus, okay? It was around a month ago, so a separate place in India. There were around 50 passengers on the bus and of all age groups. People were doing different activities. Some were talking to each other, a few were reading. Children were busy playing games on the mobile phones, and some were sleeping, right? So what actually happened was, after about half an hour into the journey, a passenger sitting in the middle of the bus started talking on the phone. He had a very loud voice, and I could hear him even though I was sitting in one of the front seats. I couldn't help hearing his conversation because of his loud voice. Now, should you be listening to others' conversations? But if you're so loud, then when others talk, obviously you just go, oh, okay, what is he talking about, right? Apparently, he was talking to his wife. From his conversation, it seemed that he had forgotten about their wedding anniversary. He was apologizing profusely to his wife and was saying that he was ready to buy her anything she wished for. That conversation lasted for more than 10 minutes before his wife finally accepted his apology. After the call ended, the person heaved a sigh of relief. Okay, finally, right? My cousin and I exchanged a few smiles during that conversation, and I happened to turn around and saw that everyone on the bus was smiling. Everyone on the bus had overheard this conversation and had enjoyed it. Even the person talking on the phone looked relieved and was smiling. Thinking about that journey still brings a smile to my face. Now, if I was you, I wouldn't pick out an answer like this because why? Why don't I say this is something good? Because they're talking about an occasion, okay? It could be any occasion. This is also something like that. But I'd like it to be like the first one. Lots of more words, vocabulary, a more realistic one. I mean, people listening to his conversation and smiling could be like, okay. But it's like a real smile, where everyone's smiling and they enjoy it, right? So overhearing to someone's conversation or, listening to someone else's conversation isn't a great thing to smile over. So I wouldn't really advise you to have a look at an answer like this. And that's why I've put it up for you to just think about it, right? I think that we should smile more often, like when we greet someone or thank someone. It can make someone's day. I wasn't very happy when I saw this answer. I mean, it's okay in terms of language, grammar, right? But in terms of the real context and, getting out the real context of what the examiner gave you as a cue card doesn't really come out of this, okay? So it's something for you to think about. Now, let's have a look at some of the part 3 questions. Here are some examples of follow-up questions that may be asked during your speaking part 3 by the examiner and which is related to the cue card. Describe an occasion when many people were smiling. So, why do people smile? Question. Why do they smile? Right? People smile for different reasons. They smile when they want to show gratitude. People smile when they want to show or express their happiness. Sometimes when others crack jokes or, the incident is really funny, we automatically laugh. Smiling is laughing, okay? Ha ha ha, laughing, right? So people, smile for different reasons, right? Some people smile to express feelings of happiness, gratitude, affection. Starting our day with a smile will help brighten our day and other people's day too. Sometimes people smile to lighten a tense situation. Tense means when you're really stressed up, right? And sometimes it's because they remember a happy event or something funny. So sometimes we smile intentionally, like, okay, pose for a picture, smile. You smile. Okay, that's so artificial and I hate doing that, right? But others could smile, like I told you, for different reasons, maybe for affection, for love, to show gratitude, when you want to show someone that you're friendly, okay? Or naturally we smile and laugh for jokes or, some things that happen around us. When do people smile? So I think people smile when they talk to someone else, when they greet someone else, okay? When they remember to talk about something like a happy moment, okay? Or when they receive a good service. Thank you very much. You smile, okay? It's like a natural gesture, right? People usually smile when they greet others, when thanking others, while remembering happy moments, when enjoying with family or friends, and when they receive goods and service, and many other situations, probably. Okay? Right. And the last 2 questions. What's the difference between a fake smile and a true smile? Well, I think a fake smile really doesn't come out of your heart. A true smile comes out from the bottom of your heart and you mean it, you're sincere. But when you smile for lies, which is like a fake, hey, how are you? Good, right? it really shows that you aren't an honest person and you're not talking from your heart, right? So I think we can make out the difference between a fake and genuine smile by your facial expressions, especially the eyes. When a person is genuinely smiling, even his eyes seem to be smiling. Right? In English we say, "As kata karanawa wage." Okay, so that means you have such a lot of love, affection in yourself, right? Why do people smile when they take photos? Oh, because you want the photograph to look good. I don't do that because I look horrible when I smile, okay? You probably realized that by now when you watch the videos, right? I don't like smiling. But lots of people smile because obviously you want to show that you're happy and it makes the photo look good, right? So lots of people smile when their photos are being taken. People smile when they take photos because smiles bring a charm to our face and make the photos more memorable. Photos are reminders of memorable events and smiling faces bring back happy memories. Okay? So if you want memories of good things, well, a smile is something that you could actually do on a day-to-day basis. Smile. Okay, it doesn't cost anything. It makes you feel good. Right, so I think we had a lot of discussion and, we watched a few videos, not a few actually, one video, right, about a comedian, so you could watch more at home. And with that, I think we have come to the end of the lesson. Now, this lesson was a bit of an uncommon one, as I told you at the start, in the middle as well. We described an occasion when many people were smiling. So that brings us to the end of the lesson.